Hi guys, and welcome back to another week of Cos-Say. Today I'm here with Q. Say hi.
Hi.
So yeah, we're just gonna jump right into this, guys. So Q, when did you first start cosplaying? Like, how did you get into it?
Um, oh God, that's a loaded question because I literally I started cosplaying like small little things like I Halloween obviously is a form of cosplay clearly, and I remember my first cosplay that I put my whole heart into was Harley Quinn, like when Suicide Squad came out and everything because I read the comic books and all that stuff, and so I put my whole heart into that outfit, and I was just like, this is kind of cool. And I wanted to be an actress, and I still want to be an actress, and it was like the closest thing to that because I
Mhm.
love playing like characters instead of just like pretty basic people. And yeah, so I did Harley Quinn, and then after that, I didn't consider myself a cosplayer until I joined TikTok. TikTok was when I was just sort of like, oh, people call me a cosplayer now. Oh my god, I like the ring of that. So yeah, that's how I really did it. It was just a gradual thing.
How long ago do you think that was?
I think I started when I was like 18.
Hmm.
I want to say it was like 18 because I went to I think it was my senior year of high school. I went to school dressed as Harley Quinn. Because they were like, hey, you can go like dressed up and everything. And everyone's like, I'm not gonna do that child stuff. And I was like, I am, and I just showed up as Harley Quinn. And people thought it was so cool, and I honestly felt like a Disney character. So I think I was like roughly 18 at the time.
Yeah.
Um, but I think my best like memory from when I first started cosplay was when I was walking around for Halloween, and this time I was Spider-Man, and this little kid was Captain America with this like little shield. And I walked. It was just when I think Civil War had come out, and there's a scene where like Spider-Man literally takes Captain America's shield. So I kept messing with him. I was just like, "Didn't I take your shield?" And I was like saying all this stuff, and it was so cute.
Aw.
So yeah.
So you've been cosplaying for a few years. Do you have like a favorite cosplay or one that you're like most proud of that you've done?
I get asked that a lot. Like if I have a cosplay that I genuinely like think is the best one that I've done, but every single time I do a new cosplay, it just levels up like every time. So I don't necessarily have like a favorite one. I would say any of my OCs
Hmm.
definitely are ones that are very close to my heart. Just because they all came from my head.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that I even necessarily have like a favorite cosplay. So
So you were talking about your OCs. What was the first OC that you actually came up with?
technically, my first OC was Beast Girl, um, who I'm not sure if you technically call like an OC because it's like it's based off of Beast Boy,
Hmm.
but it's just like a different gender.
Yeah.
But I really loved like Beast Boy, and I just wanted to do like a different kind because I saw on people like on TikTok that a lot of people were doing like all these cosplays, but they weren't really like changing up the genders and doing stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I would say that I think Beast Girl was like my very first OC, but not a lot of thought went into it. It was just sort of like, this is what Beast Boy looks like, and now he's a girl. That's it. So
That's pretty cool
yeah.
though. On the opposite side of the spectrum, do you have like a cosplay that you're the least proud of, or that you don't like as much, or it's just not comfortable for you?
Um, I don't have any cosplays that I think are just like that I don't like because I don't cosplay anything that I don't like.
Hmm.
But I do have cosplays that are just like every time I think about getting into them, I'm like, which is Beast Girl clearly. Like anytime I gotta paint myself green, it's just like no. And then also Frenchie is another one, which a lot of people don't know. It's like a whole thing. Because I'm in a cocktail dress and I'm very revealed and everything, and I feel like I can't like eat too much because I'm gonna look very, very bloated and like all this stuff, and like it's one of those cosplays that I'm just like I gotta film like a bunch of videos while I'm in this, and then as soon as that's it, I'm done for a while.
That's awesome. Is there a cosplay that you're like most comfortable in, whether it's like just because the outfit's comfortable or just because it fits your personality really well?
I think the one that I'm very comfortable with is Rue from Euphoria. Clearly because the outfit's just a t-shirt and like sneakers and stuff like that, but also because it's very just like we have like a very similar personality, I guess, like Rue and I, like in the way we're just sort of like tomboys that are just sort of like, okay, whatever, like, you know, stuff. So it's very easy for me to do Euphoria, almost like too easy, to the point where I'm just like, that's just me. Like, I'll make videos for Euphoria, and I'm like, I would just say that. Like, that's not any different than me. So yeah.
You said you started cosplaying when you were 18, about. So what's motivated you and inspired you to keep going from that point?
My friends, for sure. My friends and then my supporters are like the main ones that make me keep like wanting to do it. Like I have it for myself, like knowing that like, you know, this is a form of acting, and I really love that, and I love incorporating like acting into it and stuff. But I do have to say, like, seeing my friends that are cosplayers and seeing my supporters, how they react to us and react to me and like stuff like that, is like something that just keeps me like full ready to do my next cosplay. Like every time I make a cosplay or do a cosplay, I'm instantly ready to do the next one just based off of everyone's reaction. Like I recently did one where it was Zendaya dressed as Bruno Mars, and everyone freaked out about that. So I was just sort of like, oh, y'all like this? Okay, sick. Well, we'll bring it back at some point. So yeah.
That's awesome. And you know, on that same point, um, you said earlier that you had this memory with this little boy where you were taking his shield. Are there any other memories that like, you know, also inspire you specifically?
Oh yeah. At CatsuCon last year, I genuinely felt like a Disney character. Like I have never. I was like, when I went to CatsuCon, I was fairly new to TikTok and being considered a cosplayer. I wasn't real. I like was just accepted into like this community and everything. And I was just like very much like, oh, I'm gonna go there, and it's just gonna like, you know, we're gonna hang out and everything. No, no. We ended up not really being able to go anywhere, which was completely fine. But we weren't really able to go anywhere because so many people recognized us, like because we were in a group, and just everybody like came up to us and were just like in awe, and it was like really amazing. Even like when we went on TikTok, we had people like recording from the bushes, like in the corner, just going, yeah, and stuff like that. And it was just like, it was the cutest thing to have people. I had one girl come up to me, and she was just like crying and just crying and crying, and I was just like, oh my god, my heart. And it was the first time I had ever really had somebody like cry like in front of me, over me. So I was just sort of like, I go to the bathroom and put my shoes on just like everybody else. This is crazy. Like, I thought it was like the coolest thing. Not that she was crying, but just I thought it was cool that people were just so excited to see us. Especially when I went as Frenchie, people were like instantly recognizing her and going like, you're so tall, you're so this, you're this in person, you're this. And I tried to be in character for a while, but Frenchie's not the nicest person, so I had to cut it sometimes and just be like, hey, so yeah, any part of CatsuCon interacting with supporters was like literally so memorable. I probably can remember most of the interactions I had with people there.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. He's the nicest.
Oh my gosh, you're so precious. Sorry. So there was a few questions like that you showed me that were like, what do you do? So is cosplay like a full-time job for you, or is there something outside of cosplay that you do?
So cosplay is what I like fully do. I do TikTok and a lot of other stuff like fully, which I'm very proud to say that I can do this full time. But yeah, like I do TikTok full time. I do. I'm about to start Twitch streaming. If you could tell by this whole setup, I've been staying for a month. I'm going to Twitch stream. But like there's a bunch of different stuff. So I do it full time at the moment. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. How does that work, doing it full time? Like, how do you support yourself like that?
So usually what happens for me at least is that I get brand deals, or I have other platforms that sort of support me. It used to be live streams were a lot of the way that I was like surviving as like a cosplayer and stuff like that, and a TikToker. But TikTok slowly started doing stuff that sort of changed it all and everything. So I find support there, but I also find support like in other ways as well. So
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think I've ever talked about it on the show, but I've never seen somebody who does it full time. So I think that's pretty cool that you could give me that explanation.
Yeah, I have a few friends that do it like full time, like completely, and salute to y'all, because it's hard to do this full time. Like, we have to be posting stuff like every day or every other day. It's a lot.
Do you consider yourself an influencer then?
I consider myself. I see. This it's sort of difficult because, as you can tell, like how I've been doing through this entire interview, I call like my fans supporters, because I feel like calling your fans puts like this barrier between you guys, and I don't really want that barrier. I sort of want like how I can just like, you can approach me and I can just be like, "Ayo," and it's just sort of like we're just friends for years. Like, it's like that. And it's the same with like the word influencer. Like, I don't like calling myself influencer unless I have to use it for business reasons. But I don't, it's usually like only brand deals will like hear that. But that's just because we have to sort of like, you know, make ourselves seem like these things and everything. But to everybody else, I'd rather just be like, I'm Q, I'm Quiva. Like, some of my fans or supporters and stuff like that even call me like Q, and I'm just sort of like, yes, that means that we're close. So yeah, I don't really consider myself an influencer. I consider myself that just like works very hard, and just a lot of people know. That's like it.
That's a really cool way to think about it. That, you know, there are some people that put themselves above other people, so it's really nice to see somebody who's so humble and so open to everybody about it.
I could never. I don't think I've ever. The good thing is that I don't think I've ever met a TikToker that's like that. And I think it's because TikTokers and cosplayers are people that genuinely just like had this stuff happen to them, and it was just sort of, some of us it just happened and some of us worked for it, and it's sort of like a balancing act. But I've never really met a TikToker or cosplayer that's ever been like, oh yeah, I'm better than you, or anything like that. Like, I've never really seen that before, so that's good.
That is good. I'm gonna take a little detour right back to the cosplay stuff. So a few people were asking about cos plans and what your cosplay process is like. So do you have any like things that you're working on right now that you're excited to share, or?
Yes, actually, wait. I'm doing I think I'm saying this name right. Ahsoka Tano, something like that. It's from Star Wars, and I'm really excited to do it. It's one of my next cosplays. I also am going to be probably doing Catwoman, which I'm really excited for, because I haven't really done a feminine character with short hair. So I'm really excited for that. I have a lot of like stuff in my room that's just like sitting around that just reminds me of what I'm doing next. But sometimes I just, oh yeah, I'm doing Gwenpool at some point. So,
awesome.
Yeah, so it's just, I have like a lot of different stuff, and then some of them I just sort of do like on the fly. Like, I did, I can't pronounce his character's name for the life of me, but I did this fox looking character, has their own TV show and everything. I did them, and it was just sort of like, I was sitting there going like, I need to do a cosplay. All right, I'm just going to do this. And that's sort of like it. So it was a classic cosplay, as you'd like to say.
There were a few questions about like your favorite show or game or anything to cosplay from. Do you have something that's like your favorite thing to cosplay from? In the way of like Marvel, DC, stuff like that? Anything really, like any show, game, even if it's like a specific brand like Marvel or DC.
I loved doing The Walking Dead, because of the fact that it's 2D, so it's I had to draw like the lines and everything. I did Clementine, and I had to draw the lines and everything, and I just think doing anything from like Walking Dead, the games, like Telltale, doing it from any of that is like really fun. Also doing anything Marvel in general or DC, I live for. So yeah, so I realistically, like, any of that, I'm like totally all for.
Awesome. So you said you do cosplay full time. So how often, like, how long do you think you spend in cosplay, maybe daily?
Oh, so what I usually do is that I'll sleep, and then as soon as I get up, I'll figure out in my brain what I want to necessarily do today. Like, if I want to do a cosplay, or if I want to do some sort of other work. I usually, like, in a day, I will force myself to all day do work until the sun goes down. And as soon as the sun goes down, that's when I can decide if I want to stop or not. But I usually will spend, like, about, if I do a cosplay, depending on the cosplay, I'll probably be in it for, like, 3 hours, something like that. It really depends.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if I'm doing like, you know, back in the day, if I'm doing like a collaboration, I'll probably be in that all day. Like, but if I'm doing something by myself and I'm painted, oh no, I'm gonna bang those out and get out of that as fast as possible. Because when I'm painted, oh no, I'm not a happy camper at all. I can't do it. So yeah, I probably spend about that much time.
Yeah. So, on that same note, what does your cosplay process look like? Somebody asks specifically what playlist do you play when you're getting into cosplay, but like that also surrounds the whole process. So, what does that look like?
So what I do usually is that, and I've noticed that my roommate, who's one of my friends that's a cosplayer as well, does the exact same thing. Where whenever we're doing a cosplay, we will usually be playing the music that that character would be listening to.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is something that I'm not sure if every cosplayer does, but like I do and my friend does. So, say for example, if we're doing like I'm gonna be doing Star Wars, right? So I probably would be playing Mandalorian, like just in the background, like just watching Mandalorian in the background. So I'll be playing like the movies it came from, or the shows it came from, or listening to the music. So also, if I did Gamora a while ago, and I was listening to like the Guardians of the Galaxy like soundtrack the whole time I was doing it, because usually when I'm like getting painted or doing any opening on the makeup, all that stuff, I'm trying to like become the character. So when I make a TikTok, it like is as believable as possible. So yeah.
That's awesome. That sounds like a really cool process. So, that sounds a lot like method acting. So, like you
Yeah,
get into their head.
It's like a TikTok version of method acting for
That's
sure.
really cool.
It's like I definitely am one of those people that before, and again, I've noticed a lot of my cosplay friends when we used to do like collaborations and everything would do the same thing. Like I would see them in the corner of my eye being like doing like all the faces and everything, like ready to like start filming and everything. I'm like, I'm so glad somebody else does that. I remember like when I was doing Morty for a while, I was like going up to my friends and being like, oh geez, Rick, oh geez, and like just doing just stupid stuff like that. Like I've just noticed that a lot of the people that are on TikTok and cosplayers and everything and that generally do that, they'll try and like make their personalities similar to the character.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Wow, I realize how often I say that, but like it's genuinely like my first thing is like I really admire everything you guys do, so hearing about it is just like I'm like intaking all of that information. Anyway.
Yeah, it's there's definitely a lot that it goes on behind like the TikToks that we make, and that's why I'm such an advocate for like cosplayers need to be appreciated because of the fact that there's like sets. Like I have friends that make sets. I have friends that make their whole outfit. Like I've only I think ever made one of my cosplays like completely from scratch. I've only made one, which was Katara. But my friends make like their costumes, their backgrounds, their everything. It's just like there's so much that goes into cosplay. It's crazy.
Yeah, if you want, you can feel free to like shout them out to give them appreciation in this video if they watch it.
TT Brett, yo, what's poppin'? Taylor Malone, what are you doing here? I there's so many. I would be Radical Slinky. There's so many. I would have to like get my like other iPad and just like list them off. There's so many. Any cosplayer I'm following is like hardcore amazing, like so good. So yeah.
You're really sweet. Oh.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's a little too personal, but like, are there any things that have happened in your cosplay experience that like aren't so pleasant that you think that should be addressed to maybe make people in the cosplay community aware so that it doesn't happen again, or so that the experience is known?
Probably just like I'm trying to think if there's anything like. I guess like definitely credit the artist, like for sure. I've had like one experience where I accidentally didn't credit the artist and I felt so bad because I was basing one of the photos that my friend and I were taking off of their art, and they actually reached out to me, and I really appreciated the fact that they reached out to me and said like, hey, can you just credit me? I was like, oh yeah, for sure, I'm so sorry, like I couldn't even find like who created this artwork, so thank you for reaching out to me. But definitely that, like I would say like definitely always credit, like if there's a photographer, if there's a makeup artist, if there's anything like that, like credit the people that are involved, because just as much as you like being this character, they love what they do, and they probably want like credit for even inspiring you to like be this character. So definitely that for sure.
Awesome. Those are all the questions I have. I remember that there was one that you wanted me to ask. So, who is your crush?
So I had my friend, one of my friends, Jamil. You know who you are. One of the twins. I'm not sure if you guys remember from the whole mafia thing. The twins. One of them decided to go on my DMs and say, "Who's your crush?" I don't have one. I stay not having crushes. It's so hard. Like I'm one of those people that generally just I don't catch feelings. So yeah. So I just don't like. I saw that question and I was just sort of like, I mean, unless it's someone that's like a celebrity, but even then, like I don't think I have any celebrity crushes. Except I do know who my very first like celebrity crush was. It was Freddie Highmore. The guy, I'm not sure if anyone knows who that is, but he was the guy that played Spiderwick. Jared, what's his name? He played Jared in Spiderwick.
The Spiderwick Chronicles?
Yeah, that kid, like back in the day. Not right now. Oh my god. I don't got a crush on him now. Oh no.
No, I understand.
Back in the day, yo, I was obsessed with that movie, and I had the biggest crush on him. I would be putting salt and ketchup on the windows, driving my parents crazy. Like, it was bad. But yeah, I definitely had a big crush on him. And then the only other celebrity crush I can remember is I had a crush on Ruby Rose for a while. Also don't know if anyone knows who that is. Look it up. She's top tier right there. So yeah, but to answer the twins question, I do not asking all these questions, bro. Oh my god, I'm gonna text them after this and be like, how much you asking? Because they know. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's cool. The last thing is, do you have any advice for your followers or your supporters?
Oh, do I? I post every day something I'm trying to tell my followers. All right, where do we start? Believe in yourself, otherwise nobody else will. It's a very, very cheesy thing, but you have to believe in yourself because at some point you're going to be walking, like especially if it's a creative path. The creative path is very, very lonely. It's not one that every single person in the world believes in. It's not one that everybody sees the logic in and stuff like that. And so you have to sort of envision where you're going by yourself. And it's going to feel like you're by yourself a lot. And you can't let yourself be in this place where you're just sort of like, oh, everybody else is winning. So I have to just, like, you know, they're right. I have to just go off. It's like, this is a very, very lonely path. And I would be lying if I said, like, myself and even other people that I know, like, we've all had, like, our struggles. We are not people that just, like, you know, go on TikTok and sit there and go, like, we were lucky, bruh. Like I know myself and a lot of my friends, we worked, like, our butts off to get to the place that we are right now. We put so much hard work in, like, every day. And, like, I promise you on my life, on Baby Yoda's life, bruh, on his life, if you, like, keep trying and you keep doing it, there's literally no other place that you can go but up. Like, literally no other place. Like, if you stop, you will fail, guaranteed. But if you keep on going, there's always, like, that chance that you'll succeed. Either way, you're gonna fail. Like, you're gonna fail once or twice. I failed a bunch of times. Failed a bunch of times. But I picked the path that there was a chance to succeed, and I ended up succeeding at, like, one of my biggest goals. So that's one of the advice that I can give to y'all.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Do you want to drop your social media for me?
Ayo, all right. So here we go, guys. caoimhemorris at everything. Good luck spelling it. It is Caoimhe. Say it for you again. Caoimhe. It's Quiva or caoimhemorris on, like, anything. So.
Awesome. Thank you. That is it for this week's episode, guys. I will see you next week. That's it. Bye.